Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-Hour Purple People. And now here's your host, John Harper.
Well, hello and welcome back to 24-Hour Purple People. My name is John Harper. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set for episode 10, Simply the Best. And we're glad to have you this evening to talk all things purple in Louisville. Now, before we get started with tonight's love affair, I would like to introduce my panelist. First, I will start with a man who is making his triumphant return. My esteemed panelist, my good friend, Mr. Glenn Grum. Glenn, say hello to the folks at home this evening.
Hi, folks at home. Can you hear me? Oh, whoa, that was trippy. I got all far away.
Oh, Glenn, you look different.
I look a lot different. Well, the good thing is I have an inhaler and I have my tea and I have a giant bottle of water. So hopefully I'll make it through the show without dying. And I'm really glad to be back. I missed you guys last week, but I want to thank John and Matt for putting on an awesome show without me. Those guys are true professionals and know what they're doing. And I'm glad to be along on this ride with them because it's a lot of fun to be the funny guy.
Yeah, well, you are the
funny-looking guy.
You are the funny-looking guy and the funny guy. My next panelist, who you also not see right now, you're in 3D vision world right now, so I apologize for that. I don't know why. My next panelist that you will not see, the only thing he has returned or not returned is some Blockbuster tapes. Matt Dalton, say hello to the folks at home.
I've still got a copy of Pebble and the Penguin in the closet. Classic movie from my childhood. You're not getting that one back, Blockbuster. I think there's one left in Alaska, maybe. Where is it?
I think that one closed. It closed, right? At the end of the movie,
it's gone?
it close? I think it's gone too.
Well, yeah, they're not getting that back.
Yeah, there's I think all the Blockbusters are officially gone, but I'll tell you something that is here to stay. It's 24-Hour Purple People, even though you didn't see either of those panelists. They're there. Okay, you just got to trust me on this one.
Promise, guys.
Yes.
We're really here.
Yeah. If you have not seen a episode of 24-Hour Purple People, well, let me tell you a little bit about how it works. My panelist, if they act a fool, say something I do not like, they will get a yellow card. 2 yellow cards equals... Yeah. 2 yellow cards equals a red, and with a red card, you will be muted for 60 seconds. And at that point, all hell could possibly break loose. There's no telling what could happen. So we'll see. Sit tight, everybody. Sit tight. All right. So without further ado, we'll go to our main show screen. Hey, there they are. Hi, guys.
It's us. Hello.
We do exist.
You do exist. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's start off today's episode talking about our new president, our new permanent president. All hail the Chief James O'Connor, the first coach of Louisville City FC, is officially the president of Soccer Holdings here in Louisville, the ownership group that owns Racing and Louisville City. When you look at this pick, obviously it's something we expected, I believe. Safe to say we expected to happen. Glenn, talk a little bit about Coach O'Connor and specifically, what are some of the pros and cons of having somebody that was so involved and such a great head coach for us? What are some of the pros and cons of Coach O'Connor being the president of Soccer Holdings?
Well, first of all, I mean, everybody loves James O'Connor, right? He's our first coach. He led us to our first championship and did a lot of great things, I think, for soccer in general in Louisville. I think that, having a soccer-minded guy is going to be helpful as far as the soccer side of the operation goes. The only issue you could possibly have is, that sometimes it's hard to want to relinquish power, right? And so there could be issues there. But I think that James O'Connor is going to find the right balance of helping with operations and helping those guys, sign the players and find the right fit for Louisville City. So I'm pretty excited to see what James does, and I'm glad that he's back with us in that role. Obviously, we're going to miss Brad. We'll always miss Brad because he was, very involved with the people, but it's exciting to see what James O'Connor will do.
Yeah, I know that now it's more than just a couple of teams, right, Matt? It's an academy, it's an entire
Oh
city.
yeah.
Not only city on the pitch, but the entire city of Louisville, the soccer community here is just booming, and now James O'Connor is overseeing it.
Oh yeah, it's a whole organization. It's not just one team anymore. But I've had numerous discussions over the years with numerous people about statues, right? Like who would we want to memorialize in perpetuity for their contributions to the team? It's a standard pre and post shots of bourbon discussion at this point, right? It's a fun and a lively one, and I think it might be a little too early to start casting the bronze just yet. But I think when we do decide to unveil a statue in front of Lynn, I hope it's wearing a big floppy hat. James O'Connor is. I don't think any person outside of Wayne Estopanol has been more singularly responsible for getting this team to the elite level that it's at in the American soccer landscape than James Kevin Matthew O'Connor. Without JOC and his early and immediate success with the team, we don't have any cups. We don't have a gorgeous 15,000 seat stadium to house those cups, and we might not have a team, honestly.
Think about how important the winning was, right? Like because it really helped build that fan base in the initial when we started out, right? Like winning helped kind of grow the fan base and get people excited about the team. So I think he did a really good job of bringing the right players and winning games. I think he really
there's a lot of things that have to sort of come together in order for a sport like this to sort of catch on in a sports city that already has so many options and like flourish. And if we just come out of the gate and we suck, I mean, it looks a lot different than it does today. So,
yeah, I think that, this little transition period we had, we saw, I'm going to always say Coach O'Connor. We saw Coach O'Connor at the tailgate a couple of times, hanging out with the supporters. He's become more of a man of the people as of late, I believe, kind of branching out. Now, he was always very approachable, even as head coach.
Oh, yeah.
But he definitely was getting out, stepping out, meeting people, and some of the, I guess you could say, key supporters, which, a lot of the tailgate crew are key supporters.
All supporters are key supporters.
That's true.
Yeah, anybody who supports the team is a key supporter.
That's true.
If you're willing to put some money, you come out, buy a ticket, buy a jersey, however you want to support the club.
Whatever you want to do, baby.
I would argue, however, that most supporters have not bought as many hot dogs over the years than Doug. So I think it is important that Coach O'Connor gets out there and meets with some of the tailgaters. But
can we get Doug a hot dog discount? Can we get him a discount, JOC?
He can get him his own personal vendor.
He deserves like a permanent hot dog membership, free hot dogs for life at the stadium or something. No,
I could lose so much money.
Yeah, we're very excited about President O'Connor and what he brings to the table. I think is outstanding choice. I think it's a logical choice.
No
and we
brainer.
kind of discussed a couple of episodes ago where I don't know who else you would possibly put in this position, but I'll kind of wrap it up. What are some of the challenges as a ex-coach to be a president? Do you see anything as far as we talked a lot about the pros, but let's talk pros and cons. So, Matt, I'll start with you on this. Any cons as we wrap up this subject?
No, John, not one.
All right.
No, no, there are definitely some cons. He's got a lot more to oversee than just sort of the results on the pitch, and in a way, and I'm not sure of all the pies he's got fingers in, right? But in a way, the results on the pitch don't matter as much, right? To maybe a president, right? Because you've got responsibilities, things you've got to do regardless of how the team's doing, right? You've got to be up front with those cameras, which James has seemed pretty comfortable, but he's not a very boisterous fellow, so that might be something that's not that he's not used to necessarily. I mean, there are some cons to it, but again, it's just a no-brainer, man. You got to go James O'Connor.
Yeah,
I think it's got to be difficult for him to step back, right? Like, because he is a winning coach and he wants to win, right? Like, and that's what he came from. So it's going to be difficult to not want to put your hands. So there's going to be some, pulling back and maybe being more of an operational guy and less involved with the soccer side of things, it's maybe difficult for someone who was a coach, right? Because you want that result and you want to put a good product on the field and make sure you are satisfying the fans, and ultimately winning cures everything. So he's got to know that, right? Like, and it'll be difficult to let go of those reins a little and let, the coaches of each team control that and maybe step back and take care of some of those more administrative duties. So
yeah, I think
Gotta
that's
know when
going
to
to be
delegate.
the challenging part is you hit the nail on the head there, Glenn, being able to separate yourself from the actual, at times, not all the time, but the on-field results and the day in, day out operations as far as practices and all that kind of stuff. Now you're overseeing a larger amount, and he's been doing that in this interim role for quite some time. I think it's a great fit. So congratulations, James O'Connor, for being the president of Soccer Holdings. We are
Well
going to
deserved.
continue to support you and both organizations, obviously, as the years go on here in Louisville. Well,
wait, can I bring it back to the statue thing? JOC has to be the first statue, right? I know that's not a topic here. I know we need to move on.
Yeah.
But JOC has to be the first statue, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
even if he mismanages the team and somehow something terrible happens, it doesn't matter. He's still the first statue. He helped build
done
what we
so
have
much.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
would agree.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. If you were going to build
Can either
one,
be sculpt?
if you're going to build one statue, I mean, if you had a choice,
JOC.
one yeah, it's JOC, absolutely. All right,
I think I would make mine Doug eating a hot dog. I think that's my statue.
that'd
my
be another
personal
good
pick.
one. Doug deserves one too, I think.
He does. He absolutely
So
does.
last night in Chicago, an area known for tornadoes, there was a massive hour and 20-minute storm delay as Racing got to SeatGeek Stadium to face a team that we've never played before, the Chicago Red Stars, being facetious. This is
Who are
their
those people?
74th matchup of the season so far. This Red Star team was looking for its first ever win against Racing, and it finally got it, unfortunately, last night, 2-1. Matt, when you look at this performance from Racing last night, some positives to take away from this one for sure, right?
It's a mixture of both. There are some positives in there, but there's also a little bit of negative, a little bit of disappointment because we played really well. We were knocking on that door. It was a persistent knock,
Often.
but yeah, mean old Alyssa and I are there, just refused to let us in, right? An onslaught she had to face from us in the first match of the season. 14 shots, 6 of them on target, 7 corner kicks while we maintained 60% possession. And I hope this isn't a story that we'll be telling throughout the season, right? It's a story that does have some highlights, with Emily Fox getting her first professional goal, regular season debuts for Jalen Howell, Julie Lester, and Savannah DeMello, and league records for 47 total crosses and 43 crosses from open play. But the crux of the plot for this game was we got consistent pressure, a lot of it point blank in front of the goal mouth, but we just couldn't put away the equalizer.
Yeah, Glenn, what did you see out of Racing last night at SeatGeek Stadium in Chicago? You kind of said there, when I said there was a lot of positives, you were shaking your head yes. What did you see out there?
I thought we did well possessing the ball. We did what we wanted to do. We moved the ball up the field and got it into the box. The finish just wasn't there. Like, some nights the ball just doesn't bounce your way. Like, I think there's a free kick from DeMilla that hits the post that clearly had beaten Nair, which would have been an equalizer.
Bangs it, man.
I mean, I just feel like it just, there are some nights like that. And I feel like the team has a lot to learn from this. And moving forward, you can build from what you've learned from this loss to move forward and try to convert these close games into draws or even victories. And it's hard to play on the road too. This is a fairly young team. It's, playing on the road regular season versus Challenge Cup, which is basically preseason. So I think they did a decent job. I mean, we possessed the ball 62% of the time.
Nice.
Like, that is crazy to me. And we had 14 shots with 6 on target. And we held Chicago to 8 shots with 3 on target.
We did everything you needed to do to win, aside from score goals, right?
Yep.
Except for have 5 saves from Melissa Nair,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that basically was the difference maker.
She definitely made the difference.
She kept us out, and I feel like we have a lot of positive things to build on. I also felt like with Howell and Davis switching it up, I thought that Davis was a good add of pace near the end of the game. and we definitely took it to him near the end of the game, and we're getting closer to knocking on that door, and I just, man, maybe 5 or 10 more minutes, and we put one of those goals in, and we get a draw, right? Like it was one of those nights.
Yeah, no,
So
there's very impressive stats when you look at the stats of this game. Very impressive from Racing. I believe 81%, if I'm not mistaken, 81% passing accuracy in this game.
yeah,
Some really good things to hang your
Good
hat
stuff,
on.
man.
Yeah, good stuff. Chicago had that second goal by Chicago right before it. There was a little bit of it seemed like what it looked like a Red Stars foul. It went the Red Stars'
Everybody,
way, and
everybody kind of paused for a second,
everybody
right?
kind of paused. It was a play on, and the next thing you know, they're scoring on that. So somewhat of a little fluke situation there that led to that second goal. So hopefully, with just from some of these things, just kind of go our way in these future racing games, and hopefully we get the win, Glenn.
that was like the luckiest bounce ever, right? Like Colaprico hits that ball and it deflects off a Racing player right to St. George. Like that couldn't have gone any more.
Yeah.
Like the deflections, all like St. George hits that corner of the post. It goes right to Colaprico. She kicks it back in. It hits one of our players, and it goes right to St. George's. There's nothing that Caitlin could have done on that one. I mean, it was just a really fluke play. They did a great job taking that free kick fast. They definitely caught us on our heels.
Mhm.
But I think we'll learn from that stuff, and I think that we're going to continue to grow and get better. And I think that we're going to have a decent season. I feel like this is just a blip on the radar. We're going to grow and get better and move forward from this. So I still
Yeah.
feel positive. Is there such thing as a positive loss? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Or
you can absolutely
maybe
have
a
positive
statement
losses,
loss?
man. It's really clear to me that this team has like they have what it takes to do well in this campaign, right? We're better in almost every facet of the game than we were this time last year. We've got what it takes to win, but it kind of feels like we just need to learn how to win, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
a
and that only
couple
comes.
good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that only comes with winning, so it's kind of a catch 22
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. You know,
Yeah.
you have to start getting these wins under your belt. But hey, it's the first actual game of the season, so I mean, a long way to go. Emily Fox on her goal that she scored in the 10th minute, sensational ball movement in that play. There is a lot of talent on this team. Kaiser also played a big role in that play to get that goal. So I mean, you know, the sky's the limit, and I believe that Coach Kim is the right coach for the job for racing. I am very excited, as Glenn said, very excited about what we have upcoming, and we have a big test we'll talk about in the second half coming up.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, racing, you know, that hour and 20-minute storm delay. Holy, oh man! Then you have to have halftime after that. That had to be
Yeah,
absolutely
like 15 minutes
brutal.
after that, right? They played for another
Yeah.
15 and then took another 15 off. But credit to the team for, mentally staying in it after that hour and 20 minutes delay. I mean, that's tough to do, right? To keep your concentration for that long, that late into the night. I mean, they weren't expecting that. So kudos to the team for really hanging in there mentally.
I think McDonald had a really good chance too near the end of the game, like in the
Mhm.
third minute of stoppage. She had one that just went over the bar. Like that goes in, and we're having a different conversation today. So.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Ekich had a free kick similar to the one that she had at home a couple weeks ago. That just went right over the bar. So there was plenty of opportunities. They just didn't go in. But racing, the future is bright, and we'll continue to move forward with racing, and we'll continue to run with them. Speaking of running, dogs like to run, don't they? And last night at Lynn Family
Mine
Stadium, what a segue. Last night at Lynn Family Stadium, we hosted the second place, now third place, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I have some highlights of this. This is
Ooh,
actually
highlights.
this is Ken's camper van. A more important highlight. I'm sure he's gonna be thrilled. I'm showing this off. Look at this. Two refrigerators. There's your cup there, Glenn. It's wrapped up like a cadaver for some reason. Beautiful night at Lynn Family Stadium. And we will start watching some of these highlights. We actually had some goals scored on the Estopanol end, so that was exciting. We
Once.
haven't had that in quite a while.
Right?
So
2 goals.
yeah, 2 goals. So Glenn, I'm going to start with you. A pretty dominant win from Louisville City, was it not?
I think that was first of all the best first half that we've played all season, right? Like we couldn't have played any better. I think we held them to 4 total shots, I think, in the first half, right? Like, and just they didn't know what to do. It's like we hit them in the mouth. We came out and we just played our brand of ball and attacked, and they clearly didn't know what to do. Like, 5 shots with 3 on target, and they had with 3. Sorry, we had 5 shots with 3 on target. Pittsburgh had 1 shot on target and 4 total in the first half.
Crazy.
But like, we had 58.7% possession of the ball in the first half. It was like Pittsburgh wasn't even in the game. Like, they didn't. I was kind of lost because it's like they didn't know what to expect from us. But I think that we played Louisville City soccer, right? It didn't feel like we reinvented the wheel. We knew what we were going to do, attack up the wings. And I mean, the first goal, right? Dia going down the wing, coming over to Harris to score that first goal, which was
Phenomenal.
Beautiful. I mean,
phenomenal assist.
Amazing. And then we just played our brand of soccer, I felt like, and we just made it tough for them to possess the ball. And I thought the first half was the best half of soccer we've played, I think, so far, against a team that's pretty decent. So, I mean,
Matt, what do you think of that?
Not to get too excited.
What do you think of that, though, Matt? Was that the best or best half of the season so far for Louisville City, I should say?
Yeah, I would say so, man. I've heard it said many times, right? The key to victory is just as simple as playing your game and then preventing the other team from playing their game. And that's how we did it. That's how we won Saturday night, right? We didn't stray from the game plan in this one. We've been doing the same thing we've been doing consistently well all year. We just enforced our will. We started pressing high as soon as the whistle blew, something I will never, ever, ever get tired of. We decisively won the midfield, I thought, against the midfield that I think is equally as impressive in Pittsburgh. We forced them into a pretty one-sided attack that we had a handle on all night. We made some really key tackles, interceptions, and their defensive third, one of which led directly to our first goal after Waite played that lazy roller out of the back that we pounced on. And we gave our forwards the latitude that they need to play to their strengths, right? For Ownby, that's downhill running. For Wilson Harris, that's his finishing poise. And for Enoch, that's spectacular footwork and just one-on-one lethality, man. He was causing absolute havoc on that left side for Pitt, despite the fact that he was double-teamed pretty consistently, right? They couldn't shut him down.
No.
And I thought we really owned that left side of the first half. We owned the left side of it where Mushkaloosa plays.
Oh, yeah,
like, they couldn't get anything done over there. Like, and he just owned that side of the pitch. He was running the ball up and down, and him and Dia there was nothing they could do to stop those two guys. It felt like
definitely our most potent point of attack. Yeah, and I love watching him go to work one-on-one with some poor keeper. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to watch. Sometimes all it takes for a striker to really sort of shift it into gear is to see the ball hit the net just that one time, and I suspect and hope that's what happened with Enoch after last week's late equalizer in Charleston. I think it's on now. It is on. So the USL needs to take notice.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week. You know, Mushkaloosa gets hot. You better look out, because he's the one piece of this puzzle, the off-season puzzle from Louisville City, that we have not seen exactly show. He hasn't lived up to the talent that we know he has, and it's early still, but we're starting to see some glimmer of that with back-to-back man-of-the-match performances, back-to-back starts for Enoch. So very excited how he looked last night at Lim Family Stadium. Great crowd, 11,000 plus, and 307 dogs. Pretty fascinating.
Right.
I was not informed from
Who counted the dogs?
Well, an intern, if I had to guess.
You had to sign a waiver. They just.
But.
Is that how that worked? I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed there was no dog chants. I was also disappointed. Well, I'm not disappointed, but I did not hear
start
any.
the chants. What do you mean you're disappointed?
I'm not. When I say dog chant, I'm not saying like we sing "Who Let the Dogs Out." I'm talking about like the dogs in unison.
Oh.
I mean,
you want to hear one of those? I can get mine in here really quick.
No, that won't be necessary.
I know we've really sang the praises of our attackers, but you know that we held them to 6 total shots with 1 on target.
They're not even getting close to the goal. They're not even getting close to
Kyle.
Kyle.
They can't even get like the ball, and it's like Gibson and Bone and Toch and Sharpie, just like that. ate up anything that came through our midfield and even got close to our side of the field. Like they just, I don't know. That was like a state. I feel like that was a statement to the rest of the league. Like we definitely can shut you down if we have to. And if we play like that every night and we have that style of play, I don't know who can beat us.
We look
it's
very
great, man, that like once you get past Tosh and Sharpie and all those other guys you mentioned, then you got to face Kyle Morton on top of that, right? Like,
yeah, and Kyle's not even, and this is a good thing, but I mean he's not having a chance to really get too many coming his way, because Louisville City's defense has just been incredible. You know, when I'm going through the GoPro footage and stuff and looking and seeing, you know, when you're fast forwarding through it, you can see the players come down, and it's just crazy how they don't come down. You know, like when Kyle was down by the Cooper section, you know, you don't see Pittsburgh coming down. It's like they were just on the other side of the pitch the whole second half. So hats off to Louisville City. We've got a really good thing going. Danny's got these boys really believing that they are something special, and I feel like we have a really special squad this year here in Louisville. So, you know, not to be overconfident because we never want to do that, but we are looking good playing teams of quality. We talked about Pittsburgh, San Diego, all these teams here recently having some great performances against. Dane Kelly getting a red card in the 80th minute. So I just wanted to do that. I'm really good at that.
That was like the Napo Metsoso special, right? Like he got his hands too close to his face, and Soler just sold that. I don't even know how that got so on the TV. It definitely looks like he gives me yellow, and then Danny Cruz politics for the red. Like he definitely I didn't know if it did it get shown on the big board? Like did they show the foul on the big board in slow motion? Was it like in-house VAR or what happened there? Because he issues a yellow first and then goes back for the red.
I will find that out for you. I said I was going to do that, but I never did.
Maybe somebody in the chat could enlighten us because I do not remember that happening.
Yes.
So, help us out.
Yeah.
Run the show now.
By the way, Linda says, so glad to have you back, Glenn. Justin, welcome, Justin. Glad to have you along for the ride. Calvin is in agreement with us, and Katie says definitely, which I'm assuming that is in response to it being the best half we've played of soccer this season. So welcome. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are going to move on to our next subject. Now, this is something we haven't really decided how often we're going to do these. We're not going to do these every episode. It's a kind of a new segment in itself. It's called Table Talk, and it goes something like this.
It's Table Talk. Bop.
Explosions and the table.
I'm so disappointed I can't hear that on my end. I must have watched that when John sent that graphic out. I must have watched it and listened to it at least 100 times. Like it seriously was just looping.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Here is the table. It is the Eastern table is what we're talking about today. So thought I'd bring this graphic up, guys. I'm not going to really ask any questions. Matt, why don't you just take it away? Tell me what you're seeing other than a graphic.
All right. It's a little too early maybe to start talking about the table. Maybe a little bit, but my rule of thumb is normally not to read too much into it before the teams have played like 10 or so games. But storylines and divisions are already sort of starting to form, so I think we can get a pretty clear picture at this point where we're going. We can start with number 4. Indy's crawled out of the basement after a pretty rough start, and they won 3 of their last 5 to move into that 4th spot. Memphis has reeled off wins against West leading Colorado Springs, and we're fairly dominant and 3-1 win over Tampa as they moved into 6th place. That's the same Tampa who started out hot and were expected to be neck and neck with City, who've lost 3 of their last 5 and settled into 7th place. Just prior to the game against Pitt yesterday, Detroit moved into 2nd place spot after beating New York 2-0. John tried to get me to send a tweet mocking Pitt, but I wasn't quite drunk enough to do it yesterday. Detroit has won 4 of their last 5, and they have an 8-game unbeaten streak currently dating back to the middle of March.
Yep. Glenn, what do you see on this board of names of teams?
So many.
It's very, very early. So what I did was I went through and kind of looked at, key wins that defeating teams in the top 7, right, of either side of the table, either East or West. So obviously Louisville City, we've defeated quite a few of the top 7, right? We've defeated Miami, San Diego, Pittsburgh, right? Detroit's they haven't played many games against the top end of the table. They do have a draw with Memphis and a draw with Pittsburgh, but they lost to number 2 in the West, San Antonio. Pittsburgh, their key win is they did defeat Memphis early in the season, but Memphis I feel like is a different team now. And they do have that 1-1 draw with Detroit. And then they have losses to Las Vegas and City. Indy, their big result is they did beat Rio Grande, but they're also a new team as well. They have the 1-1 draw to City, and they lost to Tampa and Loudoun, of all people. And then you have Miami, whose key results are 1 win over Memphis, a 1-0 win over Tampa, but they lost to City, they lost to us, and they lost to Phoenix and Colorado Springs. So, and then Memphis, their key result, they did win over Las Vegas, Tampa. They have that draw with Detroit, and they've lost to 2 top 7 teams, Miami and Pittsburgh, but again, early in the season. So, and then Tampa, I mean, their big win is over Indy. If you look at the top 7 wins, and they have losses to Miami, Memphis, and San Diego. So, I don't know. I think it's a little early to get too excited about where teams are on the table. I think that we're doing very well, though, and I'm very impressed with our results. And I feel like watching our matches, there's still more to grow, though. Like, I feel like we're not at our peak, right? Like, I feel like Louisville City hasn't reached that point. Like, I feel like there's a point where you peak, right, where there's not much more for you to gain. I feel like there's a lot for us to learn from the matches we're playing still, and I think that's going to help keep us going, and it's going to make us a difficult team to beat, I think. I don't know. And we've played well against the good teams as well. I guess that's what I was trying to say is, we've played well against the teams that are near the top of the table and and beaten the teams you should beat, right? Near the bottom of the table. So.
Yep. I agree with that. And, I think the biggest shocker for me, a team that is usually really good quality is Hartford down here sitting at the bottom of the table. Is a little surprising at this point. I know we play them, the Whalers, yes. We play them
deep
at
in the bottom of the ocean.
End of June.
Yeah, right.
Be at Hartford. I believe I'm going to that game. So, okay, guys.
So
thank you for that.
If you look at the USL table, they have they have the green for the wins, the gray for the draws, and the red for the losses. Hartford's at the very bottom, and their last 5 are all losses. So, I mean, difficult to climb up that table if you're not winning any matches. So
yeah, you've got to obviously get some wins going. So, hey, Aaron, how you doing, buddy? J Ben, I'm butchering your name there. J Ben. Oh, I think I know who that is. I know you through Twitter. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yeah, it might be a little bit early for tables, and that's why we're not going to do that every week. But we are going to do that periodically, maybe the first show of the month, something like that, especially here in the early going. But as you guys know, I'm a sucker for making new cute little graphics, which you're about to see a cute little.
I was kind of disappointed. I thought we were going to throw someone through a table, so I was a little disappointed when we just talked about tables. So.
I mean, I was going to get some table-breaking footage, but, Vince is already after my VHS collection, so I've got to be careful what I'm doing there. So.
Such good shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I believe that is going to be, yes, drink in unison. That's going to be 2 yellows. That is the first. Do not hydrate. Glenn's allowed to. Matt, not so much. That is going to wrap it up for the first half of action. Now, stick around. The second half, we're going to be talking about the upcoming games for Louisville City and Racing. We're going to talk about that new Mint kit. Say that 3 times fast. And we're going to talk about our favorite kits of all time and much, much more. A new commercial at halftime. Don't you go anywhere. We'll see you here in a moment.
Halftime.
This is 24-Hour Purple People. And now, a word from our sponsors.
I had so much purple last night and too much SCA. My knees hurt and my cat just Will Smith me. And now I have to host the big show? I can usually handle this shit.
I have a headache. I need a blueprint.
Lupron is safe and approved by the USL and the official drug of 24-hour Purple People. Just 2 Lupron were able to handle my toughest pains.
And when you're constantly winning on Saturdays, reach for the one bottle you can trust.
Lupron, little, purple, better.
Welcome back to the second half of 24-hour Purple People. We are so glad that you decided to join us, take a little time out of your Sunday evening to talk about some purple. If you are somebody that suffers from that post-game letdown, you had so much purple on Saturday evening and you're just so used to winning and all that purple smoke, maybe you should try Lupron today. Lupron, little, purple, better.
John, let me just say that's better than the other slogan that we thought up. Lupron, it's highly addictive.
Like crack, but better.
That would be a good one. It's actually it's cinnamon candy. That's the best I could do and come up with.
Does that cure your hangover, John? You're not drinking enough.
No, not mine. I don't get hangovers though. So, all right.
Like a teenager, that guy.
I don't know. The sweaty camel thing in the crotch of the skeleton is a little weird. So,
I mean,
why you need Lupron?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. All right, here we go. Second half of action here on 24-hour Purple People. So let's start with racing. Racing is heading out to Washington to play a dangerous, maybe OL Reign team, a team that has traditionally been a pretty solid team. They were just playing moments ago. 1-1 was, I think, what it was when I was watching. It might have been 2-1. I think Spirit was getting the win. I'm sorry to do that. I know everybody's like, we got to find out the score. So since Glenn's doing
2-1, John.
2-1. Thank you, Glenn, for that confirmation.
You're welcome.
So, Glenn, I'll just go right back to you. So, trip with the rain. You said you've kind of hinted around this. Maybe. Why maybe, Glenn? Tell us what's going on.
Well, they have their game in the Challenge Cup on May 4th, Wednesday against the Washington Spirit again, who they lost to tonight. So they possibly could be in the championship match on CBS on May 7th if they're able to win that match. So I would imagine, would postpone our game. They wouldn't make them play 2 games in 2 days. But, I mean, it'd be nice for us if they made them play 2 games in 2 days.
Make
because
them do
they're
it.
pretty potent. They're a pretty potent side. But, I mean, I really good luck to them on Wednesday. If they don't win, it seems like we'll have a match on Sunday, which could be fun to watch. They have a lot of decent players, but like we have a good up and coming squad. I think we've learned some things from Chicago. We have a lot of key takeaways, and I think that we're gonna be. It's gonna be a competitive match. I feel like it's a winnable game for us if we play our game and do what we can, and we hold their players to not scoring goals. They have Rose Lavelle, who's always dangerous, and I think that their keeper won like keeper of the week like 3 weeks maybe in that Challenge Cup. So they have a decent keeper as well. It's just a really loaded. When you look at their lineup, it's really loaded up, and I feel like it's going to be a fun game to watch if we get to watch it. And if not, it'll be later on in the season. How do they do that? Would they just do it later in the season, make them play Wednesday? Does anybody know how that's going to work?
I mean, that's a possibility. That would make the most sense, I guess. But
John, can you get on the phone with the home office?
Yeah.
Get us an answer, please.
I can find. I got some. Hey,
Thank you.
go,
You have
will you go
connections?
find that out. All right. So
Appreciate
this is definitely a team that is different from Chicago. Obviously, the season just starting, but OL Reign has been a powerhouse in the NWSL for quite a
years.
while. Matt, pretty scary team up there in Washington. What do you think of this matchup, and what's Racing got to do to get the victory?
So the Reign lost some attacking power this year with the trio of Lyon loans that made their way back to France. It doesn't look like they lost much, right? They've averaged nearly 2 goals a game in the Challenge Cup with a couple of really standout performances against the Cali expansion teams, most notably putting 3 on the board against San Diego in 11 minutes. Daisy's really excited about those 3 goals. Those goals are coming from all over,
They
too,
were
right?
exciting.
They had
Yeah.
10 different goal scorers so far, which is kind of unbelievable considering they've only played 6 games. Not
Right.
bad.
No, that is good. Here's a red card to help you out here, Matt. Glenn, Rose Lavelle obviously is a dominant player in the NWSL. OL Reign has been a dominant team in the NWSL. What do you think might be some of their weaknesses? I know it's a little early to tell, but do they have any weaknesses? I mean, what do we gotta do to kind of break through with them?
So I think we're gonna have to play our game, right? Possess the ball, which is clearly what we're trying to do under Coach Kim, Coach Bjorkegren. So possess the ball, keep to our game, and play our game, right? Like attack where we want to attack through the wings, cross the ball in, get the ball to McDonald, and just play our game. And I think we'll be okay. Obviously, it's going to be a hard-fought match. They played really well in the Challenge Cup. They have a decent team. Like I said, it's a loaded lineup. One thing that was kind of fun, I did some research today. I ended up on their website. So they have their supporters group actually has all of their chants up on their website where you can download them to your phone for free via PDF. They're called the Royal Guard. So I thought it was really cool that they had like a PDF you can actually download to your phone for all of the chants. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
But I think if we play our game, we'll be all right. I don't think there's anything to be scared of. I think we have a decent team, and I think that it's a winnable match. How about that? And especially with the midweek match for them, there could possibly be some rotation if they don't end up winning and moving on to the final. So we'll see what we get.
Yeah, fatigue could possibly step in and take a big role in that game. All right, Matt, any closing thoughts on this game?
Just that the Reign have a pretty stacked midfield there with 2021 MVP Jess Fishlock and Canadian Olympic champion Quinn, and then Rose Lavelle sort of taking on that number 10 role. I just think our center backs and midfielders need to be prepared to play the right angles and win some possession in order to give us a chance to score in the open field.
Yep. That is pretty cool, Glenn, about the OL Reign, the PDF for those that can afford Adobe. Now, I've showed this before, but it's pretty cool. You can scan this QR code on the back of the Cooper's membership coin and get the songs at the game. So next time you're at a game, scan that coin and join the Coopers and join singing. And Calvin came down and hung out with us yesterday and got up on the capo stand.
So does the Cooper's coin work for the racing side too? Can you get the racing chants or just the
That's a great
chants?
question. That is a great question. We were actually discussing some of those racing chants last night. I think they're kind of working on some because they had some for some players that are no longer with us, and they were kind of discussing maybe getting some new ones in the repertoire for racing. But always a fun time on both teams, obviously. But that's very cool. Yeah, OL Reign has a great support. Now they're playing at wherever Seattle's stadium's called. It's had like 5 name changes. They're playing where the Sounders play.
And the Seahawks.
So
and it's a beautiful stadium.
It's a beautiful stadium, and they're putting a lot of people in that stadium too for NWSL matchups, which you love to see. We would love to see a win against OL Reign, so we'll keep checking up on the things with racing this week, and hopefully it'll all work out. Now, on city side, we are prepared to play our good old friends, Acronym United, in Atlanta, or wherever it is, Cobb County, somewhere around there.
Gwinnett.
Yeah, there you go. So coming up this Wednesday, we are playing on May the 4th. Calm down, nerds. We are playing Atlanta United 2 for what could possibly be the last matchup. Wow. I mean, if I could make like some sort of video to this, like, very slow motion, like Atlanta United 2. Glenn,
We will miss you so.
we're going to miss them.
Will we?
Yeah.
Will we really?
Yeah, let's talk about.
Did you research the record against them? I think we're gonna miss them a little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about. We'll talk a little bit about if we're gonna miss them or not. But this Atlanta United team, early in the season, they were a top 10 team. They actually kind of looked pretty solid in some ways. Recently, not as much. Glenn, what do you see out of Atlanta?
I mean, on May the 4th, Jedi Master Danny Cruz is going to lead the Knights of the Lynn Family Stadium Temple to defeat or to take on, sorry, to try and defeat the Sith Lords of Atlanta United 2 in our final match in the Death Star known as the Gwinnett, the Kennesaw State Stadium. And
Keep
we're gonna
going.
take those three. They're gonna take those 3 points away with the Jedi mind trick. So it's gonna be an awesome match. Oh,
This is
Matt
just
got
to
a
keep
red
you
card.
going. This is just to keep you going. Okay, I'll take that away.
And they're gonna depart for the dreaded NXT next season. So we're gonna miss them. And we were 7-1-2 against them. So I feel pretty confident this is going to be a decent game, and the Force will be with us. So
Are you done?
I think I'm done.
All right.
Matt's
There
head's
we go.
gonna
There you go. There you go. That was beautiful, Glenn. I loved every minute of that. A classic moment that it was going to be very hard to be topped. And I don't really know half of those references as I'm kind of new to the Star Wars universe, but I'm going to learn them just based on that alone. That was great. Okay, Matt, if you want to do it in Star Wars form or not, tell me what you see with Atlanta United 2.
Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that, but this is our first time facing United above freezing this year, right? So I'm looking forward to us doing a little bit better than our first matchup at Lynn, despite being on the road. Atlanta's given up 10 goals in their last 3 games, and they haven't tallied a clean sheet all year. So I look for our midfield and fullbacks to pick their bones in order to create some scoring chances. I'd love to see Enoch continue breaking down keepers one-on-one and keep that scoring streak going, man.
Real quick, Jay Bennix said earlier about that card that we were talking about, Danny pleading his case. He said the center ref went over to the side ref, then gave the red card. So that's kind of how that trends. Thank you for
Nice.
that.
Hold up.
Appreciate it. Go ahead.
You can't see that on TV. I could hear Danny definitely like trying to talk to him and say, "Hey, man," hands to the face, trying to get that card.
Mhm.
So I'm glad I'm glad that they actually listened to him this time instead of telling him he was just interrupting them and constant. What did they say last week? They constant disagreement or something. They gave him some
They used
yellow
some
card for something ridiculous.
Yeah, very
That's how I
strange.
get all my yellow cards.
Don't we all?
For constant persistent infringement. That's all I'm good at.
Yeah, it was very odd verbiage on that, but yeah, Atlanta United 2. Hey, it's still early in the season. We'll see. Glenn, you kind of said we're probably going to miss them in the aspect that we've always been pretty dominant over Atlanta, but they're going to the MLS NXT, right?
Yeah.
Is this a team that I don't know? We obviously are not going to miss them. Give me what are the chances that they could possibly pull off our first loss?
I mean, this is a midweek trap, right? We just played Saturday. We're playing on Wednesday. I mean, you can't take any team for granted in the USL Championship. I mean, if they really wanted to win, I'm sure they could send half the Atlanta squad down to try and beat us if they really wanted those points. Or maybe if they wanted a trophy, right? They wanted to get a trophy before they left. Maybe they could send down, if they're not doing so well in MLS, they can send down their team and try to win games. I mean, they don't look terrible. They're not great, but I mean, they do have some decent players. Jackson Conway scored 4 goals on 12 shots in 5 appearances. So they definitely have somebody who can score some goals. But they have been struggling at the back the past few games. So past 3. So I don't know. I'm always nervous about the midweek game, right? Like that's always a trap, and especially against a team that's not looked at as being on our level right now. They're in 11th place. You get up for the big games, but you got to make sure you also get up for those games like against opponents like Atlanta 2, Charleston Battery, the Red Bulls, Hartford, because those games could bite you if you don't treat them with the same respect that you treat, the games against Pittsburgh and San Diego and Indy. So,
yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, look at Charleston, how hard of a fought match that was by both sides. Obviously, Louisville City was a little tired in that one, but still, they are a team that's not of very good quality, and we only pulled out the draw. Matt, do you think any possibilities of Atlanta being the first loss or maybe even a draw? I mean, are you just very confident about this for Louisville City?
I mean, there's always a chance, right? Any given Wednesday, I believe, is how the phrase goes. But we should win. Will we? I don't know. I mean, a draw on the road, I will take. Absolutely. Just pretty much whenever not every game on the road I want to draw, but draws on the road are in general they're pretty good. I will take those.
Yeah. Katie says sometimes we don't play as well against those types of teams. That's true, and that's been kind of historically true for us. Some of those games that we look at and we say
play down.
Yeah, exactly. But
go down to your opponent.
I can tell you just based on what I've seen with Danny, what I've seen on video, what I've read in the press or whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to coach, and I would say obviously, but I don't think he's going to allow the guys to even think like that for 1 second. I mean, he just does not seem like that is the message he's getting across. So we're looking forward to wishing Atlanta United to a farewell into the NXT world of MLS.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah, nice knowing you, right? The Proving Ground will be shut down for good, or whatever they got on the side of their stadium there. All right.
Proving Ground.
Yeah. We're going to move on to last Thursday. We had the reveal of the new racing kit, the new away kit for this season. And as you know, racing has been wearing the lilies even on the road this year. So we were very excited to see that they had a big event downtown at the old the new brewery that used to be where Kroger was.
Elbow Funk.
Yes. So I heard that it was. I have not been there, but I heard that place was awesome. But little sidebar.
Looks
there.
nice.
Yeah.
Looks very nice.
These mint kits, everybody was kind of having some fun on Twitter using the word mint. I think we did something like that on our Twitter account. The admin did. It's not any of
the
us.
admin.
We have another
admin.
We have another admin somewhere, but I think we might have a difference of opinions on this. So let's go around. Oh, look at that. I'm going to start with Glenn. So, Glenn, tell me what you think of these new mint kits.
All right, so I wasn't able to make the event, obviously, because I can't leave the house. But I did it kind of backwards. I opened the photo that's on the team site to purchase a jersey and was like, oh, I don't know that I like this very much. Then I opened the press photos for the jersey, and I was like, oh, that looks really nice with the whole kit. Like, I really love the detail. First of all, like the neck looks awesome with the mint, the compass points with fleur de lis. I know that some people say it's similar to last year's, but I mean, parts of our logo, right? I like the detail with the Nike swoosh being in the nice lavender color. I also love the detail of the lily in the bottom corner of the kit. I did place an order Thursday night for one. I went with Fox on the back because I typically like defenders, and I think she's going to be one of the best players we're going to produce right now, and she's been playing really well, so she's probably my favorite at the time. But I think it looks amazing. I know that the league is very restrictive, right, on what they can do with their kits, so I think they did great with what they had available. I mean, I would have loved to see a little bit more detail, but for me, it looks beautiful. I mean, I painted my fingernails lavender and mint for the team.
That's
for Easter.
Very pretty. Matt, do you have a different opinion of this kit, or did you like it overall?
I liked it overall. Now I know that they have some restrictions, right? I know that the NWSL requires mostly white kits for the away uniforms, but I wanted more mint. They leaned into the mint a lot. I wanted it to be mintier, right? I want a minty fresh kit. And I understand they did what they could. I know that Brett Estes on Twitter mentioned that they had long negotiations even to get the mint shorts, which I think were a great addition overall to the kit, to the whole kit and caboodle, if you will. I think the overall picture of it, mint socks might have been nice. I also saw that mentioned on Twitter. That would have been nice. But overall, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I'd say it's pretty good. Yeah, NWSL having, I believe it's 65% white. It has to be
Yeah.
on the away kit, something like that.
We
So
did what we could, you know.
yeah, exactly. And you see a lot of teams. Orlando Pride had their moon kits. It was kind of like the moon color and stuff. Teams were trying to find little ways to get around that in a sense.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
funny about the new racing kit that I do like about it is, at a distance, the mint kind of goes together, and thus it looks almost like it's mint. So that's one thing I didn't really hear anybody talk about that, but I kind of noticed that myself. Like, further away you get, it kind of
It
blurs.
looks mintier.
Yeah, it looks mintier. But Matt, you have to be mental to think that that they've got to, if they do all mint, I feel like that's going to be a little bit too much. But I don't know.
A little too toothpastey, you know.
Yeah, I mean sherbet. The price of sherbet's gone up.
Nobody
too,
wants a
so-
minty sandwich.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I saw some people who were sort of worried that, oh, these are just going to look like white kits on TV. I don't really think so. We're not dealing with USL standard definition cameras here. Like, CBS knows what they're doing when they film stuff. These are going to look very good.
You mean camcorders, right?
Yeah,
The
we're
USL
not
has
dealing with
camcorders.
like over-the-shoulder camcorders like USL. Like, you're going to be able to see the details in these kits pretty
Hey,
well. I
USL
think, on
looks
TV.
USL looks amazing on my 27-inch Quasar. I just want to say so. Don't knock it till you try it. Okay, so the mint kits.
Tubes.
Bad.
It said tubes, John. Tubes.
Oh, don't disrespect my authority. Okay, so so the kits brought up an interesting discussion. We kind of had this discussion offline briefly, but we started talking about everybody loves kits, right? Especially Glenn. He's got some there in his background.
Oh, I have more here too.
Oh, I know. There are plenty of great kits out there in the world, throughout the USL, even other leagues in America, whatever it may be. Everybody tries to get a little bit more creative and do different things. So I thought we could take a second in today's show, kind of talking about kits. So let me start off before we start talking about our favorite kit. Okay, so hold off on what your favorite is, gentlemen. I know you're just dying to get this out, but what makes a good kit? Okay, and what makes a kit a bad kit? So I'm just looking for short answers here, somewhat. Glenn, so what do you look for in a good kit?
I mean, it depends on what I'm looking at, John. I definitely think that from the kits I've selected from my collection, I like things
You're
that
looking at a
stand out.
kit. Mhm.
I definitely am looking at quite a few kits, like my Providence FC kit I'm
It's
wearing
beautiful.
now.
It's beautiful.
I like things that definitely are gonna pop, right? That look good. I do tend to like some of the classic things, like I do Manchester United's all red kit, right? With the white cuffs on the sleeves and the cuff on the collar. Man, I like that a lot as well. But I do think that I tend to move towards something that's a little bit more flashy, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Okay.
tends to get my attention. I will say that one of the drawbacks to that is sometimes when you're watching the game, trying to analyze who's got the ball and who's doing what, it's difficult to read the numbers on the back of some of these flashier kits. But
Yeah.
Like the San
But I think-
Antonio all black with black numbers.
I love that kit. I'm trying to convince Beth to let me order one of those. I think that is just beautiful. Like that is an amazing. I mean, it just looks so good, that blackout kit. Oh,
I could just send you a black T-shirt, dude. Like, I've got plenty of them
Yeah.
lying around the
This
house.
is the San Antonio kit. Yeah. Matt, so what makes a good kit in your eyes? Similar or something different?
So I'm with Glenn on, I do like some outlandish kits for a third kit, right? I like hopefully our third kit this year is I love the KDF kits, right? I wish that was our third kit, quite frankly. I love big, bold, bright colors for the most part. But also I think for maybe your main kit, your first kit, your home kit, I like the more traditional stuff, right? I love a good sash. Like Glenn mentioned, the red Man U with the collars and the cuffs, beautiful, right? Gorgeous, all timer. So it's sort of different strokes for different folks, right?
So on and so on. Yeah. Glenn, all right. Show me or tell me, whatever you want to do, some of your favorite kits. I know you have some kits there in the background. Now, are those the kits that are your favorite kits, or do you have other
Give us
kits?
the kit tour.
Are you
There's
surrounded
some
by
of my
kits?
favorites. I mean, I am definitely surrounded by kits. I mean, I have the Orlando City, the Sunrise kit over here, the drip kit from Ford Madison. I got the Minneapolis FC, the Torrent, the Milwaukee FC Milwaukee Torrent. I have a West Ham kit just for it's got Iron Maiden on it, and for Matt, because you have to have your friend's favorite teams kit, right? Because you're gonna eventually go to a bar together. I have a whole stack of, so I picked out my favorite. So my favorite Manchester United kit right now is got to be the one where you look like a zebra, just because it's so flashy and like these stripes go in different directions.
I believe in Manchester you say zebra.
Well, 1 second in the chat.
Zebra.
In the chat, why don't you guys chime in on what your favorite kits are while we're kind of showing off ours?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I got this is another Providence FC kit. I think that they put out some of the greatest kits. Got a shark here coming up, and then I also, in addition to that, I every time they put out a new kit on Twitter, I'm a sucker for it. They had to treat yourself with a donut on it. I mean, their kits are just amazing. I think the best kit in the NWSL is still this one right here from Racing Louisville. This is a thing of beauty, right? With all the detailed flowers and the butterflies. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be impossible to top. I was more traditional with my favorite Blue City kit. It's actually the one that Mr. John Harper is currently wearing. I think the gold hoops were our best kit, and I really miss the gold, and I hope that comes back. That's one of my favorites.
This man knows style.
I do want to give a shout out. One more. My last kit is going to be for the Metro Louisville. I love this kit with the sleeves, the checkerboard sleeves, and there's actually, if you look real close, the whole front of the kit is actually checkerboards as well. They're very light, hard to see, and there's fleur-de-lis in some of those checkerboards. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, if you can pick up that detail.
Oh, yeah.
But see how it's checkerboard? And it has fleur-de-lis in some of the checkerboards. Just an awesome job. And they have a new kit coming out, actually. I don't know if they're still taking pre-orders for it, but they have one that's got sugar skulls on it for their red kit, which looks amazing. And I actually ordered their new kits as well, just because they all look so great, and it goes to support the team. So
right, yeah, no, absolutely, that's awesome. Matt, I hate to make you follow that incredible repertoire.
Yeah.
Well, what? How many? Wait a minute before we go on though. How many? Aaron says the taxi kit is great. Yeah. Glenn, how many kits do you approximately? Would you care to share that out loud? Do you own?
It's probably fewer than 100, but more than 50.
Okay, very good. Metro, by the way, is playing right now. They're up 3-0. Just to let you know.
Hey, good for them.
Yep. Okay, Matt, take it away. Your favorite kits. Show and tell time. If you have any.
And again, how do I follow that?
I
don't own a lot of kits because I'm what you would call a poor. But I do have. This is my favorite West Ham kit. I don't have a lot of them. This is my favorite.
Yeah,
of West Ham's kits.
I love
it's
that
gorgeous.
way.
I love claret and blue. You cannot beat it. It's the greatest combination.
Well, a lot of teams do. Yeah.
I mean, purple and gold. I think is a little bit better.
Ooh. The fun fact about the West Ham kits, they got the colors claret and blue because they won a foot race. The father of one of the players won a foot race in 1899 against a player from Aston Villa, and they couldn't pay the bet that they owed, so they said, "Okay, we'll give you all these kits," and that's how the Hammers got their first set of kits, was because someone won a foot race. Beautiful stories like that you cannot get in any other sport but soccer.
And you can't get any other podcast than 24-Hour Purple People.
That's right. Keep tuning in, folks. These are some of my favorites sort of internationally. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. This is from a Ghana side called Hearts of Oak.
Oh, yeah.
I love Hearts of Oak's kits. I've always been a fan from afar. They play in the Ghanan First League. And then we've got some other classics. The Mexico 98 kit.
It disappeared. Spoilers. Oh, okay.
The Mexico 98 kit with the with beautiful.
That's awesome.
Again, your classic, the denim USA 94 kit. Everybody loves that one, right? Gorgeous.
How can you not? That's a beautiful kit.
Right. And like I said, I like some some traditional elements too. I think the Copa or the Boca Juniors. I don't know. It took me a second. The Boca Juniors kit made famous by Maradona is gorgeous. You can't beat it. Oh, and a special one thrown in, even though fuck Arsenal. Here's the Arsenal banana kit.
That was a good kid too.
That's a good one.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Well, here's that. Okay, so it's my turn now. So I actually got a few. Katie obviously has been a longer term soccer fan, so I got a few here that are actually hers. These obviously would never fit me in 1,000 years. So here's the 99ers. Simple. I really put it on my little camera thing. Let me get music for a second. So the 99ers, just a classic from the women's team. Whatever, y'all weren't excited for that. This is the one we just mentioned. I dropped it. The festival, Kentucky Derby Festival ones from this season.
The
which would
warm-ups,
make a
those are
great,
so beautiful.
yes, it would make a great third kit. Absolutely. I really like that one. So this is a Queens Park Rangers Keepers kit, and it is purple, which automatically I like. But I love the design on these sleeves. It's really cool.
Yeah, the detail.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm really enjoying this part of it. And here's another.
I know you love throwing it over your head.
I do, yeah. This is another Queens Park Rangers. This is their. I think this is what their 90s kits looked like. I don't think this is what their newer kits look like because I think they changed their colors. But yeah, I don't really like that team.
Don't they have like green and blue hoops now? I think they had.
I
hoops
believe
for a
so.
while,
Yes,
right?
I believe so.
I think I have one of their kits, long sleeves. If you go to classic football shirts, they do clearance kits that are fairly inexpensive, and the shipping's not terrible if you want to buy like some older kits from other teams in Europe.
Glenn, you are right. This is the best kit in the NWSL, if not all of professional soccer in America. And last but not least, this is a brand new one, Leeds United, in the lily color, the lavender color. No? I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it.
This is Katie's as well.
Too bad they're probably going to get relegated if Everton keeps playing well. But
Hey. Well, it could happen. All right, well, excellent, guys. I know that Louisville City does have a third kit on the way, supposedly. I'll go back to that. Supposedly they have a third kit coming. I'm not really sure when that kit is coming, if ever. So hopefully it'll come. But, a lot of things had to happen for...
Bring back gold.
Huh?
Bring back gold.
Yeah, bring back gold. It could very well happen. It could very well happen. I know that there was a lot of things that had to change when the new crest came in, and obviously there was 2 new crests, right? So, and they go back and forth between suppliers, and this league does this type of kit, and this league does that type of kit. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, but be patient, everybody. I'm sure they're coming as long as they keep cranking out quality, warm-up kits. I mean, that festival, Kentucky Derby Festival kit is just outstanding. One of my favorite ones they've done as far as like the alternate kits so far. Go ahead.
And real quick, like if you're buying kits from these smaller teams, like the NPSL sites and things like that, like purchasing a kit from them, that money goes into help developing soccer programs across the country and around the world. So, and a lot of them aren't super expensive. So if you have a little bit extra spending money, invest in a team, somewhere else that help grow the game. So we have more teams to play in the future, right? Because eventually these teams could grow into teams the size of Louisville City, and we could have more competition. So
yeah, with all these 2 teams leaving us, we're going to need some more teams in the championship. Matt, any closing thoughts on our kit talk for today?
Nah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, excellent kits by both of you gentlemen. I've never seen that Mexico kit. I'm going to have to look that up, Matt. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was from 98, I believe.
Yeah, 98. Okay, I'll have to check that out. The Glenn, that one that you've got behind your right shoulder, the Orlando. That's Orlando City,
The
correct?
Sunrise, the Orlando City, yeah, the
Yeah,
Sunrise kit.
That's a
It's
really
Kyle
good
It's
one.
Smith.
hideous.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love it. Every time Kyle Smith, as long as it's on their team, I buy a kit almost every year with his name on the back because I feel like I have to. So that way they keep putting him in all the promo stuff because it, warms my heart a little bit every time to see Kyle Smith on the Orlando City promo stuff. And I mean, that guy started as an accountant that tried out for Louisville City and now is a defender for Orlando City in the MLS. So
Pretty crazy. Yeah, Mark Anthony Kay, still rooting him on out in Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado's got some
he
great
had
hits
a
this year.
beautiful goal. Yeah, Colorado's looking pretty good. So, Aaron chimed in and said he likes kits that are simple, bold colors, or something absolutely wild. He likes the 2018 home jerseys with the gold accents. I like that one too. It's kind of the I believe the diagonal look to it.
Yep.
And he also likes the Madison kits. I think everybody
I have
likes.
that over here, actually.
Yep.
Right over there.
I think everybody likes the Madison kits. They were kind of like the front runners, I guess, in the lower level soccer, you could say, of just like outstanding kits. They've had some really cool ones over the years. So, well, thanks for chiming in for.
Glenn disagrees.
Providence makes my favorite. I would say that my kit collection goes City, United, Manchester United, and then Providence because they have done just so many beautiful things with kits and they're so creative.
Well, what you're wearing now is freaking awesome. Oh, hello, Kitty.
Yeah.
Hello, Kitty. Yeah. What you're wearing now is very impressive. So I might have to look that up, but check them out.
Oh, she hates this.
Oh,
she
look
hates
at
it
this.
so much.
That's cool.
So
I didn't know they had a
it's
skyline
long
in
sleeve.
Providence.
Yeah.
Kidding. Yeah. No, that's.
I think it's the only city in Rhode Island.
Oh,
right?
really?
It's true. Okay. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun talking about
I didn't
kits
die.
and you didn't die. And Glenn, we were so
Yes.
glad to have you back. And hopefully you'll just keep going in the right direction. Getting your voice back and all that's going to be the final step, I feel like, back to normal feelings. So
It's
glad
fun to
to have
call
you along. Yeah. Glad to have you along. So, all right, guys. Well, that
she hates
is
it.
about does it for this episode, episode 10. We want to thank everybody for watching this evening, and we want to thank Matt's cat for making this segment way more enjoyable to watch. If you do not
Are we still
follow us,
recording?
yes, obviously.
Yeah.
If you do not
Oh,
follow
okay.
us on Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff, please give us a holler on there. And then also, please subscribe to our channel and like the videos. It does help us. We don't like saying like the videos necessarily, but all that kind of stuff kind of helps us get, seen and more people involved because we really like, we love interacting with the chat. And just to let you know, like we're still kind of working with certain things. So like we can't just like chat in the chat room while we're on here at times. We're trying to figure out some ways to do that. So nevertheless,
We'll get our admin on it.
yeah, we'll get our admin, the guy that does the Twitter and stuff. We'll have him do it. But thanks for being on there. Don't forget, too, this is available in an audio form through Spotify, all sorts of different podcast platforms. So you can just Google 24-Hour Purple People, and you will find an audio version to take with you wherever you may go. And we hope that you are going somewhere that's going to be purple, like Louisville. And we hope you join us next time for episode 11. And we thank you all very much for your viewership this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. For Glenn Grum,
No,
Matt
thank you.
Dalton, my name is John Harper. We will see. What's my name again? John Harper. We will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.